All praises to Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahweh Shai, Ba'Sham Makar Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect in the nation of Israel. When you read the New Testament, right, after all of the talk of what's gonna be done, right, and when you go to what's gonna happen in the future for the world, right, Christianity has got one thing that they say is gonna happen in the Bible, right, but the Bible's got another. And when it speaks about salvation, right? There's three things that it goes into ultimately: who the new covenant's for, right? And who the future salvation is going to be for. And the future salvation is clearly being spoken of as being for the Israelites, right? And them only. And I'm going to prove it right now. Revelation chapter 7 and verse 1. And after these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, not on any tree, not on the sea, not on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the power, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their forehead. So what that means is, don't start destroying the world, right, until the servants of God have been sealed. That's ultimately what that's saying, right? Saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel. Now, somehow, and this just shows that Christians, they always want to talk about this, reading the context, just twisting scriptures and all of this, right? But they're the ultimate people that do that, because somehow Christians try and make out like the 144,000 are not Israelites. And they say spiritually Israel, when it clearly goes into, in the next four verses, what tribes these 144,000 are going to come from. And I'm going to prove that just by reading. Verse 5. Of the tribe of Judah was sealed 12,000. Judah was one of Jacob's sons' names. Of the tribe of Reuben was sealed 12,000. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn son. Of the tribe of Gad was sealed 12,000. Gad was another son of Jacob. Of the tribe of Asher was sealed 12,000. Asher was another son of Jacob. Of the tribe of Naphtali was sealed 12,000. Naphtali was a son of Jacob. Of the tribe of Manasseh was sealed 12,000. Manasseh, right, was a son of Joseph. And who was Joseph? Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. Of the tribe of Simeon was sealed 12,000. Simeon was also a son of Jacob. Of the tribe of Levi was sealed 12,000. Levi was a son of Jacob. Of the tribe of Issachar was sealed 12,000. Issachar was a son of Jacob, also called Israel, right? Of the tribe of Zebulun was sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph was sealed 12,000. Who was Joseph? Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. That's why he gave him the coat of many colors. So for all the talk of these Christians running their mouths, right? They don't know nothing, man. Of the tribe of Benjamin was sealed 12,000. Benjamin was another son that Jacob really had favor towards, because he was his youngest, if I'm not mistaken, right? He was his youngest son. So for all the talk of these Christians saying what they want to say, right, they really don't know what they're talking about, right? And they just run their mouths and try and make out as though we don't know what we're talking about, because we ain't got the earthly qualifications that they've got, right? But guess what? They ain't got the heavenly qualifications that we have to be able to speak on biblical things. They ain't got it. Because what they think is that I meet the worldly standard of what's supposed to be respected in this world, so listen to whatever I'm saying. That's what they think. But then when you read in the scriptures, that was never how discernment was given. Discernment was given from the Lord, and it always came from the most unlikely place. And how much more unlikely can you get than Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in this world that's so racist and hateful to these people, and has destroyed these people and made them be viewed as nothing, right? So I just proved that the 144,000 are all Israelites. Now, this is where a Christian bug out will come through and say, yeah, but what about the great multitude? Well, let's get into the great multitude, shall we? Revelation 7 and 9, and after this, so after all the 144,000, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations. See, this is where they get excited now. See, all, at any time it says all, right, a Christian just gets so excited, right? So excited. They lose their mind, man. Every time they see that word all, that three-letter word has got these Christians bogged out, man. Of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, Salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and the four beasts fell before the throne on their faces and worshipped God, saying, Amen. Blessed and blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our power forever and ever. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? Right? And I said unto them, Sir, thou knowest. So if these people were just so clearly heathens, right, then wouldn't John have just said, man, these people are heathens, man. They're getting salvation with us. Wow. Right? And he said, These are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. I'll read it again. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, so the angel had to tell John who these people were. Right? He had to say who this great multitude were. He had to tell him because it wasn't clear. John was like, man, these people can't be, obviously was like, well, I don't think these people are heathens because I know the prophecies. So the angel told him who they were. These are they which came out of great tribulation, and which have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Now let's go back to Revelation 7 and 9, right? Because I know a Christian would have said, see, he's running. Nah, I'm not running. Now, here's the word here, which no man could number, of all nations. Now, the word for nations, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be ethnos when you click into it. There we go, ethnos. Now, let's look probably from Strong's G 1486, a race of the same habit, a tribe, specially a foreign, and then it's got in brackets non-Jewish one, usually by implication pagan, Gentile, heathen nation people, usually, so not always, right? A multitude, whether of men or beasts, associated or living together, a company, troop, swarm, a multitude of individuals of the same nature or genus, right? So that, I'm going to prove that is what he's talking about here, right? Then it's got one, human family, that's not what he's talking about. Then it's got for three, a tribe, nation, people group, right? So ethnos is no different than saying you people, right? So if so-called black people in this world was to say my ethnos, right, is black people, this world would accept that. But we ain't black people though. We're Israelites. And it doesn't matter how many people on the earth don't want to accept that. We are. And it's not because of nothing special that we did. We're just them. And you can't do nothing about it, man. You can cry, you can send hate mail, right? You can try and strike videos, it don't matter. We're still Israelites. Every video gets striked. Every channel that gets taken down, a new channel gets made anyway, so what? You can't do nothing about it. 4. In the Old Testament, foreign nations not worshipping the true God, pagans, Gentiles. Paul uses the term for Gentile Christians, right? So you can't try and make out like this word just always means a heathen, because it don't, right? It don't. Now, let's see if there's any other words that make it more clear about who this great multitude are. Let's see. What's the word for kindreds, right? Strong's G 5443, right? An offshoot, race, clan, kindred, or tribe. Outline 1. A tribe. 1. In the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. So what would that make this great multitude? Israelites. Now the thing with a Christian, because there's so much hate in the scriptures, man, and they hate God really, and they love this world, man. So they've tried to make their own Tower of Babel, right? And using the scriptures vaguely to try and combine it together, man. They've tried to use certain Bible verses as the glue as to why they can get this to make this Tower of Babel on earth, man. Right? And this new world, right? Because when they see that when you show a Christian this, they don't want to accept it. Oh well, I think we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. Yeah, we are. Because we believe what the Bible says and you don't, man. Right? Now what's the word for people in this Revelation 7 and 9? Laos. Right? Strong's G2992. Apparently a primary word, a people, general, thus differing from Strong's G1218, which denotes one's own populace, people, a people or outline, one, a people, people group, tribe, nation, all those who are of the same stock and language. So what would be the same stock that this great multitude would be from? Well, the word for kindred would let you know that. The same stock is Israelites, right? A great part of the population gathered together anywhere. So you can't try and get out of the fact that the only nation it specifically says that this great multitude are Israelites. It doesn't say that it's anybody else. Now you would think that the Christians would accept this, considering they're always running their mouth, talking about how there's a spiritual Israel, right? And how there's an Israel of God and all of this. You think that they'd be like, okay, fair enough. But they don't want us to, they hate the Israelites so much that they don't want the Israelites to have anything special over anybody else. Because they're those same heathens that's mentioned in Psalms 2. Why did the heathen rage? They are those heathens. And they're imagining a vain thing. The vain thing that they're imagining is that God would, in the book of Genesis, let it be known why he made the Israelites and the whole pathway that he went from making them, all the way from Adam to Abraham, right? To Jacob, to David, like showing the whole pathway of how they came to be Israelites, man, and how they came to be the chosen, just to cast them away. Even though the Messiah that he created was not a heathen, he came from among them. And the person that lived the best life on this earth, the only one, was an Israelite. So why wouldn't Yahweh have mercy on the Israelites? Because from all the nations that he made, the only person that was ever able to fulfill his will properly came from their nation. So why wouldn't he have mercy on the whole nation because of that? Well, he has. But that's what these Christians don't understand, because really, if they was honest, they hate God, really. Right? Really, they hate God, man. But they ain't going to admit that, though. Now, I showed that. Now, let me show this. Let me show this. Right? Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8. For final fault with them he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Jacob. So why can't you find it being with anybody else? Why doesn't it say that this is going to be with a great multitude of all nations, kindreds, and peoples and tongues? Right? Why doesn't it say that? Why? Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahweh. For this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. It don't say, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude also received this covenant from all kindreds, nations, people, and tongues, and they also had the laws put within their foreheads and in there. It don't say that afterwards. It don't say that in any of these next verses, because the same people that are going to receive this covenant are that 144,000 and that great multitude, and nobody else is receiving it. Nobody else, right? Now, Christians can get as mad as they want. They can't show this to be true. They cannot show anywhere else in the Bible that it says that it's going to be given to any other people. They can't do it, right? They can't. It's not possible for them to do it, man. They can't do it. Now, it mentions the same covenant again in Hebrews, the 10th chapter, right? But it's quoting the Old Testament, right? Let me show it. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 16. This is the covenant that I make with them after those days, saith the Lord. I'll put my laws into their hearts, and in their minds I'll write them. Verse 15. Whereof the Holy Spirit also is witness to us. For after that he said before. So this is a quote from somewhere else in the Bible. Now, where is it quoting? Ultimately, it's quoting Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. This is the covenant I make with them after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them well, they don't even go in to say that. And in my minds I will write them. So what are these people talking about, man? And their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. So people try and say that the Israelites have been cast away because Yahweh didn't forgive them for betraying Yahweh Shai, but that's not true. It's not true, is it? Because in Romans 11 and verse 26 it says, and so all Israel shall be saved. Because ultimately, every Israelite is going to be saved. They're going to all be in a kingdom from the least to the greatest. But some are going to receive it after death by pain. And some are going to receive it with shame and everlasting contempt, man. That's what's going to happen. But these Christians, they don't understand the Bible because ultimately, after all the talks being said and done, right, them trying to find who, say, oh, this person's a Gentile, oh, and this person was a Gentile, and oh, this person was also a Gentile, oh, and Abraham wasn't an Israelite. So technically, oh, and Noah, he wasn't an Israelite either, right? After all that talk, right, when you go to the Bible, who's the new covenant for? Is it for everyone? Or is it for the Israelites? After all that talk, who are the 144,000? Are they Israelites or are they everybody? After all that talk, when you look up to Revelation 7 and 9 and you see who the great multitude are, who are they? Are they Israelites or are they everybody? After all the talk said and done, man. And after all the talk said and done, does the Bible say that in the end days, the heathens are going to come to the Israelites to learn the laws? Why would they have to learn them if they're going to be receiving an equal covenant whereby they have the laws in their mind? Why does the prophecy in Daniel the 7th chapter say that all people are going to serve and obey the saints? Christians don't know the Bible, man. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. Shalom.